Thank you, Ayam Berbahagia, Dr. Nogani. Members of the audience, ladies and gentlemen, now with great pleasure and honor, we respectfully invite Yang Berbahagia, Prof. Dr. Mazlin Mokhtar, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Research and Innovation Affairs, UKM, to address the audience, officiate the opening of the public lecture, and followed by the introduction of the speaker. Please welcome Yang Berbahagia.
Terima kasih kepada Profesor Nadia Dr. Siva, rakan lama kita bersama dulu di UKM Kampus Sabah dan TDPC. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good afternoon. Yang berbahagia Profesor Datuk Engineer Dr. Riza Asik, Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic and International Affairs, Professor Dr. Arthur Wong, Chairholder MPOB-UKM Endowed Chair, and Chair and Professor of Environmental Policy for Wageningen University, Netherlands. Dr. Ahmad Husairi Din, Deputy Director General, MPOB. Professor Dr. Nogani Muhammad Noor, Dean, Faculty of Economics and Management. Professor Dr. Hazita Azman, Dean, Faculty of Social Sciences and Humanities. Professors, directors, researchers, and senior officers of the UKM, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Selamat datang ke Majlis Syarahan Umum yang dianjurkan oleh FED dan FSSK, Syabas dan Tahniah. Kita harap kita juga mengucapkan syabas dan tahniah kepada MPOB dan Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia di atas pelantikan personality peneliti akademia yang sangat penting, merupakan profesor terkemuka, 20 profesor terkemuka dalam bidang environmental sociology, dan ini bakal kita harap merupakan pencetus kepada banyak lagi aktiviti-aktiviti yang bakal mengekalkan prestasi tinggi negara kita dan rantau kita dalam bidang industri kelapa sawit dalam konteks yang bersepadu dan syumur. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to be here with you for this first public lecture of the MPOB-UKM Endowed Chair. It is the pleasure of the Vice Chancellor, Professor Datuk Dr. Nur Azlan Ghazali, and the whole of Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia to welcome Professor Arthur Wong to this public lecture and to extend our congratulations to him on being appointed as the first MPOB-UKM Endowed Chair. To Professor Arthur Wong, we bid you selamat datang, special wishes in Malay language to this beautiful country of ours. Prof. Arthur Wong's acceptance to be the first chairholder of the MPOB-UKM Endowed Chair is indeed a sign of honor and recognition to UKM. We are very elated, very happy that Professor Wong has come all the way from the Netherlands to honor us with this lecture. Professor Dr. Arthur Wong is an internationally renowned scholar in environmental sciences. He is currently the Chair and Professor of Environmental Policy for Wageningen University, the Netherlands. Likewise, he is also the Professor of Environmental Policy for Tsinghua University, China, apart from being a joint editor of the infamous journal Environmental Politics. He whispered to me that he was trained as an engineer, master's degree in engineering, later on did his PhD in sociology. Crossing disciplines is the order of the day, especially in the field of research, in the field of innovation, trying to solve some of the issues, not only to our region, but the global world. Professor Arthur Wong has been selected as one of the 200 leading Dutch scientists in the Cream of Science list by the Netherlands Academy of Arts and Sciences in 2005. In Malaysia, we have Academy of Sciences separate from to be set up Academy of Arts. It's interesting that Netherlands already combined the two. I think we should propose this to the Malaysian government, and the academia should consider this, combining the arts and the sciences. Because to find a real solution the sustainable solution to some of the prominent problems of the world definitely require the marriage between the science and the social sciences and humanities. Professor Arthur Moore, honored in 2010 by the International Sociological Association for his work in environmental sociology, and received the Frederick Bartle International Award for Distinguished Scholarship in Environmental Sociology. This is one of the biggest prizes in the field of environmental sociology and is awarded every 4 years. In 2009, he received the Distinguished Contribution Award from the American Sociological Association for his work in environmental sociology. This made him the first non-American to receive the prize since its inception in 1983. Congratulations, Professor. As the head of environmental policy group in Wageningen University, one of the research projects that he is involved in is what has been called SUSPENSE, S-U-S-P-E-N-S-E. That stands for Sustainable Palm Oil equals environmentally sustainable and equitable. SUSPENSE focuses on the palm oil supply chain. The main objectives of SUSPENSE, funded by INREF, are to identify sustainable pathway for production, processing, and governing of palm oil, and to enable different stakeholders to contribute to a more environmentally sustainable and equitable palm oil sector in a concerted science-based pathway. We like very much the word equitable. In Malaysia, we are very ambitious indeed. It is very timely that you came over to Malaysia, Prof. In Malaysia, it has been introduced that to bring up the income of the country, it has been introduced there is a new economic model that looks at high income, sustainability of the environment, and inclusivity. We realize that Malaysia and several countries of the ASEAN region, even though we have achieved a higher income per capita, but we are not doing too good in certain aspects of the environment. We are also not doing too good in closing the gap between the haves and the have not, or the have a lot and the have not so a lot. So we really like the proposed study of yours to look at the whole value chain, and hopefully along the way we can reduce that gap. UKM has also been named by the Deputy Prime Minister in his annual, because he's also the Minister of Education. So several months back, he announced that there shall be a new institute called MINDA, Malaysian Institute for Inclusivity, Development and Advancement. And with that hope, we really hope that in our pursuit for high income, we shall bring the aspect of inclusivity to be more meaningful and realistic on the ground. So, on the way, prior to meeting you just now a few minutes ago at the lobby, I managed to dig up what sort of research has been carried out in the UKM pertaining to palm oil. There have been 126 projects conducted by our colleagues coming from 8 faculties and 3 institutes. Some of the directors are here. I saw Professor Datuk Sharifah Mastura from Institute for Climate Change. Some of the colleagues coming from Faculty of Medicine, University Molecular Biology Institute, looking at, some cancer cell studies and all that, apoptosis, because some accusation have been made that, certain aspects of palm oil is not so good to the health and so on. So we really hope, with your presence looking at the whole value chain, you will have time over the next 2 years or so to interact at least with these 126 projects. And in terms of publication, we managed to dig up 414 articles, 219 journals, 103 proceedings, 45 seminar papers, technical reports 6, video 3, popular writings 3, and so on. So I shall be giving this to Professor Nogani and Professor Azita to walk through with you, because some of them are in Bahasa Melayu, Malayan national language, but I believe in their dream they can also speak Dutch. But anyway, Professor, it's certainly a pleasure to look forward a serious interaction between not only us in UKM, but certainly with MPOB and some of our other colleagues in other universities, in other research institutes as well. So under this palm oil supply chain, the main objective again is to look at how to enable different stakeholders to contribute to a more environmentally sustainable and equitable palm oil sector. What more, with Malaysia and Indonesia as well, some of the greatest world producers on palm oil. And towards the end of 2015, there shall be the AEC, ASEAN Economic Community. Certainly palm oil will be high up on the charts of the economics. Professor Arthur Moll's past and current research are linked directly or indirectly to four research-focused areas identified for this chair, namely policy regulations, income and business potential, civil society and community, and environmental sustainability. As an internationally recognized scholar, Professor Moll provides leadership in those four research-focused areas. In addition, he is able also to provide the network for collaborative efforts, as he is also very well known in the African academia, apart from the Western world academia. So we look forward to interact with our counterparts in Africa and the Western world through you, Prof. Professor Arthur Moll is also a board member, not only in Wageningen University, but also for various national and international bodies, including the United Nations Committee on World Food Security. With his vast experience, we would expect him to contribute to human capital development, particularly enhancing the local expertise, both local lecturers and researchers. So good to see in this Senate room of UKM this afternoon, not only the senior researchers, but more importantly, the future. We can see the young researchers, the early career researchers in this room. We really hope that we will take full advantage of the next 2 years or so to interact with Professor Arthur Moll. Professor Arthur Moll is a prolific author and has published 23 books, 114 refereed journal articles, 79 book chapters, and 26 other scientific publications, but I'm sure it's more now as we speak. Prof. Arthur Moll's appointment as the chair would certainly be a strategic asset and will provide the impetus, especially in the international arena, for research on palm oil related matters. His appointment will definitely be a boon, not only in the areas of research and publication, but also in capacity building via networking and human capital development. In University Kebangsaan Malaysia, this national university, we believe not only in conducting research for academia's sake, but it must have a meaningful impact to society, to government, to business and private sector. The whole integrated, holistic way of being professional. So along the way, we certainly encourage the interaction not only within the academia, but also with some of the national platforms like the Majlis Profesor Negara, National Council of Professors. They have 14 clusters there. They would certainly look forward to interact with you, because palm oil is what has brought Malaysia where we are today. Either good or bad, some look at good, some look at bad, some look at better. But we believe this industry has brought where we are today. We always believe in the balanced approach. There is no one perfect commodity, I would say. But by looking at the initiatives of MPOB, Sandagi, all the great plantation practitioners, we can see they are very committed to do things better and better. So we really hope through your research and interaction with us, not only in Malaysia, but also in ASEAN, we can make the palm oil industry a very sustainable one for the many years to come and many generations to come. We also hope that the issue of making palm oil among one of the leading ones to become more and more sustainable. And I believe Professor Dato Sharifah Mastura and colleagues from the Institute for Climate Change, and also colleagues from the Faculty of Engineering and Architecture, they already obtained some big grants looking at what they call zero-emission palm oil industry. Nothing should go to waste. Nothing should be emitted in the waterways. Nothing should be emitted into the atmosphere. We are trying very hard from more, and I think one of the reasons that you accept, we will have to think that because we see some of these positive initiatives of Malaysia and Malaysia. So, with that, ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed the great pleasure of the Vice Chancellor, Professor Dato' Nur Azlan, and the whole of University Kebangsaan Malaysia, and I believe also the whole of Malaysia, to welcome you. And ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Professor Acha, and let's enjoy and learn from him. And let's